Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we want to take a closer look at the ring fly exercise. This is an exercise that you use if you want to train that transverse adduction movement of your chest, and it is also considered a chest isolation exercise on the rings. Those of you who have already tried the ring flies will probably notice though that the exercise is not really suitable to really pump your chest. It is really limited in the end range of motion because it really feels hard to exert force in that position. And we will take a closer look at why that happens and if there are possible ways to make the ring fly a better exercise and to make it more feelable in the chest. Now, in the first step, we will take a look at the leverage of the external load. In that case, that is my body weight, and the leverage is provided by the rings that I push sideways. Okay, in the starting position, there is not much leverage. In the end position, there is a lot of leverage because there is a lot of distance here. So my body weight creates a lot of torque in my shoulder joint where the chest is attached. So again, when we're starting, the leverage starts pretty small, and the more I push my arms sideways and the rings apart from each other, the more leverage the external load has, so the exercise gets harder. Okay guys, we already covered the easy part. That was the leverage of the external load, which was small at the beginning of the ring fly and big at the end of the ring fly. Now it gets a bit more tricky. We want to take a look at the leverage that our chest has to exert force in the different positions. And to make this a bit easier to understand, I've made you a model of my chest. So this is my shoulder, this is the attachment of my chest, and this is the attachment of the chest on my torso. So this is how it looks like when we are doing the ring fly. Easy model. And what I want you to realize is that this perpendicular distance, so from the force vector that the chest has, which always pulls into the direction of the muscle fibers, so in this case in this direction, the perpendicular distance to the axis of rotation, so here our shoulder joint, this is what makes up the leverage that our chest has. Just take this as given. It's not too important why that is the case. For understanding purposes, it's just enough to know that this is roughly in, when we're making things a bit easier, that this is the case here. It's totally enough to explain the effects. Then, if we're now in the starting position here and we are going to the end range, what happens is this. And we see this distance here gets smaller, so the chest has worse leverage, and in the end position it gets even worse, it gets even worse, it gets even worse. Now I've destroyed my model, just hold it like this for you, and the next thing you can see is that the moment we are going to the end range, what happens is that our muscle pulls in this direction. So my chest pulls in here. So the main part of the force my chest uses to just pull my upper arm deeper into the shoulder socket. It's not used to really adduct my arm more. So as you see, now I've destroyed it completely. As you see, most of the force is getting in this direction. And the more I go into the end range, the worse it gets. The force is just pulling in this direction. And the closer I get to the starting position, the more power of my chest is really getting into the actually direction that I want. So good position for the chest to really exert force, worse position. And this is not good because in this position our chest cannot exert a good force or not much force because it has worse leverage. But the external load has the biggest leverage. So the position where I am the weakest is the position where I need to produce the most force. And that is something we need to change to get more out of this exercise. And there is a possibility to do that, and that is what I will show you now. And what we need to really adjust this exercise is just a light resistance band. I use my ones from pull up and dip, same as the rings, they're also from pull up and dip. If you want to save 10%, then make sure to use my code. All the links are in the descriptions. So, and how are we going to use this resistance band to make the strength profile of, or the resistance profile of this exercise matching to the strength profile of our chest? We are just attaching this resistance band in between the rings so that in the end range, the rings are pulled a bit closer together, so the band is exerting force in this direction, and so assisting our chest in the position where it is the weakest, so we can make those strength curves matching each other a bit better. And with this method, you can definitely finish your chest way better. And now I will show you how you can mount this band even better than just holding it in your hands. First, the easy part. We're just creating a loop on the first ring. So we're just pulling this through and creating a loop. Then, to get a loop also on this ring, we need to, first of all, free it like this. And now it gets tricky. You pull this loop through the ring, then you spread it and pull it around the wood. And now you have this combination here, and then you just put it back on the ring straps, doing that. Now, like this, and then you have the combo you need to get the resistance profile of this exercise better. The good thing is with the pull-up and dip rings that they have numbers on the straps, so I can easily mount them on the same height. And now you see that we have the resistance band in between the rings, and if I'm now performing chest flies or ring flies, you can see that in the end position my chest is assisted by the band. To make the ring fly more chest dominant, I would recommend you to keep the elbows slightly bent. The more experienced you are, the straighter you can make them, but keep it slightly bent to not make the biceps the limiting factor here. Also, the shoulder blade position for a chest dominant execution is retracted in the end position. If you want to use the ring fly though as a straight arm conditioning exercise to have carryover to elements like the iron cross or Malteses, try to keep your arms as straight as possible and the shoulder blades stay abducted, so in a protracted position. And independent of your style of execution, make always sure to keep your shoulder blades as depressed as possible to not destroy your shoulders.